Hello, everyone. I am Waddie G from the G Listed, and I'm excited to tell you that this is my first podcast. Woohoo! Yes, sir. This is the podcast for the G Listed platform. It has been a blog since the G List Society days of 2011. And now, just because I want to bring more content to the G Listed platform, I am creating the podcast. And I'm going to tell you why. But first and foremost, let me tell you, for those who aren't as familiar with the G Listed, it is a blog platform where we celebrate urban, pop, and queer cultures. Follow it at theglisted.com. Go to all of my social media platforms and hit the follow button and like some of the stuff, like everything if you've got the time, by going to @theglisted. Those platforms include Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Hallelujah. I am here, Waddie G, with the first episode of the G Listed podcast. And I had to do this to kick off 2019. You guys, this project here, I like to call it a project, has been over 2 years in the making. As I've been following podcasts for a few years and really vibing to certain ones religiously over the last year and some change, I just told myself, when am I going to create my own? And I had all this self-doubt about doing it, where people listen to it, how can I fill up an hour with interesting, what will the content be, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, brother, I was so in my head so much, and I'm here. I am here. Yes. So, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Well, no, I do know where to begin, because I want to tell you what the podcast is going to entail. It's going to entail some interviews with our celebrities, our influencers, our leaders, our icons, new and seasoned voices within the within the LGBTQ community, within Black pop culture, within all kinds of spaces where I just feel like it's going to bring interesting content to the G Listed podcast. I already have some interviews on deck, and I'll just drop a hint on a power couple from Atlanta who I've been following on Instagram because they fine as hell, but they also got great stuff going on. That is Johnnell and Tyrone. You guys know them. They be modeling all those bikini briefs and underwears and swimwear and all kinds of lifestyle products that all these retailers hit them up with, and they be looking good. And I can't tell you what is so wrong about a beautiful couple showing everything, showing their love, and really putting us out there where, we could be out there bold and just in love with whoever we're in love with. So I'm just going to give you that. I have other people lined up, but I'm going to give you just that. Also, there's going to be segments on here where we're just going to talk about lifestyle stuff, where I even inflict my own personal stories, like in today's episode where I talk about me talking about my love life to my dad for the very first time. Oh yeah, interesting story that just happened over the Christmas holiday. But there's also what I really like the most, I would say, is because if you've been following me and my platform since I was a blogger way back in the day, I love showing off musical talents who are independent, especially those in the LGBT community that don't really get the platforms that they deserve because their music is the bomb. Well, I'm going to be putting that into the podcast. So future episodes, you're going to see me talk about lifestyle topics, interviewing our personalities and influencers and icons and legends. There's also going to be music played. I'm also going to put in some news. Mind you, because I don't want these episodes to feel dated, I'm going to put some news in there, but I'm going to make it relative where it doesn't sound like it has to be only for the moment that I actually recorded and then some. And then last but not least, what I was going to say. some of you will want to know because you only hear me. I haven't introduced any co-hosts. Yes, I am the host, the only host of this podcast. However, whoever I will be interviewing will also be my co-host. So, for instance, the episode that I will have Johnnell and Tyrone on it, they're going to be my co-hosts. They're going to go through the segments with me. They could pick out music if they want to. Whoever they feel in, I'll put it in there. Or, if they let me do it. I prefer that they let me do it, but hey, I'll accept a request or two from them. And then also, too, I'm going to have some episodes where I'm going to have a posse. Yes, I'm using the old school word posse. Not crew, not clique, not friends, because some of them ain't going to be my friends. And I don't mean that in a shady way. I'm just talking about there's going to be some friends. Like I'll introduce you all. Well, some of you probably know him in person. But as far as online media voice, to my friend out in DC, Dia Harris, shout out to him because he's been bugging me for the last few months ever since I talked to him about doing a podcast. Okay, when you gonna do it? 2018 is almost over. Well, it's here, Dia. Thank you for pushing me into doing this. Well, not pushing me into doing this, but being a supportive friend to see what I'm capable of and just pushing me to do what I'm capable of doing and love at that. So you're going to get that. And the topics, they're going to be, stuff that we talk about behind other people's backs. We're going to talk about topics that we only discuss maybe when we have a few too many drinks, or either like real hard-hitting community topics, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for each and every episode because those topics will be the title of the episodes. So you'll know what we're going to talk about, right? Now, kick it off 2019 with this blog, but let's do like a little rewind to 2018 and talk about how awesome of a year it was. For the G-listed platform, I have to say, as a blogger who really bigs up what we do as people in the Black pop culture or urban queer spaces and cultures, that 2018 was a bomb ass year. It really was. Really, really was. And for me, because I'm a music fanatic, music R&B junkie, hip hop junkie, house music junkie, to see queer voices really doing well in R&B, soul, hip hop, and rap. And I'm not even talking about just the music charts or mainstream critics lists. I'm just talking about people who have put out quality bodies of work, whether they are independents from people I really loved and enjoyed, like Zelo from the UK, this beautiful hip-hop 90s neo-soul sounding album. Oh God, and I'm trying to remember the name of the album, but the standout track for me is Don't Waste My Time, The Jam. And also Chemical Ghost, which featured this R&B singer. Her name is PK. Another dope body of work. And then Janelle Monáe, like no-brainer. Everybody has been loving Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer album, to Jussie Smollett's first official mainstream album, Some of My Music, really good R&B, well, just anthems. Yeah, I mean, they are R&B sounding, but these are like anthems that we all can relate to. He really gets personal about his journey as a celebrity over the last, 5-10 years. Who else am I leaving out besides the artists whose music I'm going to feature throughout this podcast? Well, let me get to him. Damien Crawford. Damien Crawford put out a hot song with a music video earlier this year, and it's all from his new album that has been released on January 1st, 2019, titled Therapy, but the first single is called Before You Go. Very good R&B, moody soul song, I would say, but the music video itself was hot, hot, hot. And I'm going to be playing 4 tracks from the album. I finished listening to the album 3 times over the last 3 days as of recording, not the release of the episode. And I had to let Damien know, dude, this album has bops. And I'm mad at him. Damien, I didn't tell you this behind, or over Instagram when we were chatting, so I'm gonna put you on Front Street. I'm mad at you because how dare you put out great album back in 2012 and leave us hanging for 6 years just to put out another great album. And I mean, I'm glad you put out another great album by now, because this was some really good stuff. Now, mind you, he did drop some bops, some singles here and there between 2012 and 2019. But Damien, you owe me another bomb-ass album in 2021. Not a 6-year wait. I want another album in 2021. Don't play. Okay? But yeah. And he knows how much I'm loving this album. He knows how big of a fan I was of his 2012 album, especially one of my favorite songs to date by an openly queer artist called Love Over Life. It's the anthem. It's a great love ballad. It should be like a wedding song at for same-sex couples. So, all right. Actually, while we're talking about Damien, why don't I play a song from his album? Actually, I'm gonna play 2. So the first song I'm gonna play is his first single, Before You Go. So check it out right now.
Are you listening? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you comprehend? I can't repeat it if you need me to, cause I can't deal with the shit you do. Oh. Working around while I'm out of work, coming home late acting like a jerk. You're so good at being inconsistent. Please don't fight, baby, don't resist. It just ain't working. No, baby, not for me. This might be lit for you, but this ain't it for me. Over and over I tried. Over and over I tried. But you kept on lying to me. So much of my time. What's really over is you and I. You think that I'm tripping, but I caught you slipping. You calling me foolish and say I can't do this, but I'm doing it. It's time for you to go. Don't let the door hit ya, right, nigga. Before you go, I need back the key. It belongs to me, baby. Just so you know, I'm changing the lock that opens my heart. Before you go, I want you to know there's no coming back, babe. Just so you know, I'm gone for good, and that's a fact. Do you get it? I'm fucking done with you. I bet you won't regret it when I'm with somebody new. I hope it hurts you just like you hurt my heart, cause you've been playing games right from the very start. You're so good at so inconsistent. It just ain't working. Oh no, this might be lit for you, but this ain't it for me. Over and over, you lie. Yeah, so much of my time. Oh, what's really over is you and I. I caught you slipping. You calling me foolish and say I can't do this. But I'm doing me. So just walk out the door. One thing before you go. Yeah, I need the key. to me, baby.
There you go. There you go before you go, right? No, there you go. That was Damien Crawford's first single from his Therapy album that was just released January 1st. The single is titled Before You Go. Again, you have to check out his music video for that. So go to his YouTube page. It's under his name. You can find it. But also, I want to play another song of his, which is one of my favorites. Again, this is 10 songs, and all 10 songs are a bop. But this one, because I love his past duets with another R&B singer's music and voice, who that I adore. His name is Matrell. Shout out to Matrell. Matrell, I haven't heard from you in a long time. You need to hit me up and let me know whether you got some new music out or not. But they got a new duet. It's called Love Ain't Shit. It's featured on Damien's new album, Therapy. It is I wouldn't say a bop like you're gonna dance to it, but it's a great R&B track. Listen to it right now.
The night of our first kiss, the way you kissed me made me new, baby. Remember the night we first made love. You whispered in my ear and said I love you. I told you that I loved you too. Then you gave me all of you, babe. That was the first day of the best day of my life. Hurt you without first resenting me. Then I got down on one knee. You say yes, I didn't ask you anything. Baby, that was the first memory of the best days of our lives. I can't do this thing called love without loving you, loving you.
What did y'all think about that track? You liked it. You know you did. I love it. It's a great R&B bop. So again, if you're listening to this podcast and you are a musical talent and your talents are either in R&B, soul, hip hop, rap, house, maybe pop or rock, maybe, send your material to wg@theglisted.com. And if I really like your music, I'll hit you up with a form to let me play it on my podcast. You're not going to get paid for it because this is free promotion for you. So we're going to sign that agreement, and then you could be featured on the G Listed podcast. Any episodes, more than one episode if I really like it. Okay, so continuing to talking about 2018. I talked about, just what's been going on as far as music, entertainment, and such, but also for like Black LGBTQ excellence. You saw my list for the Power 100. I have to say the excellence level for the Black LGBTQ community has been off the roof all year long. Whether it was in entertainment, politics, activism, literary, media, all kinds of avenues. We are really expanding our representation on the mainstream level. And I'm not even talking about mainstream where it has to be like all over globally, well-known worldwide, but also too, whether it's in your own cities, in your own communities. I mean, our presence is being felt, and I'm really, really proud of that. But even in the LGBT spectrum, very good year. Black pop culture, very good year, except for music, R&B, and even rap. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to celebrate the greatness of 2018. For me personally, as the person who runs... Oh, let me get back to the Power 100 list, because I want to address a couple of people who have been emailing me, well, not emailing me, but hitting me up through DMs on social media, complaining about they did not see themselves on the list this year. I'm going to say this to everyone who feels that way. Well, no, duh. This only could hold 100 people. That list only holds 100 people every year, just like the Ebony Power 100 holds 100 people. Other platforms where they do Time 100, they can only hold 100 people. And here within the Black LGBTQ Power 100 from the G listed, I go through somewhere between 200 to 400 and some names per year, as far as people who are making some noise of influence and excellence that could be seen publicly to choose from. I try not to repeat some people all the time. I've heard that before. Well, some people have been featured on that list before, and they deserve it for different reasons. They were on years past, and it's just, it is what it is. Because you don't see yourselves on the list doesn't mean I don't think you're excellent. It doesn't mean that I have something shady to say about it, or I don't know your platform at all. Some of you, I don't know your platforms, and that's why you need to make yourself visible and known to the G listed and other platforms so you could be seen. But just understand that you are great. Yes, I know firsthand how great it feels to be recognized by anybody in an honoring platform, especially by people who look like you and or your constituents. Trust me, I know that, and I'm gonna get to that as far as my personal 2018 highlights. However, just because you may have been overlooked, or just said maybe not now, maybe later, or remind me again, that does not take away from how great you are. And for that one person, I'm not going to say who you are, who had the nerve to write me essays on Instagram about how great he is and what he has done, nobody who's secure in their platform has to go through their resume to slam another person's work for empowering a community, to say, I should have been on there because of this, and this, and you shouldn't be featuring this, that, and the third, and those people. That is very insecure, and I'm saying this on a public platform. As people in our communities, or even people with platforms, doesn't matter if you're in the Black LGBTQ community, LGBTQ community, you represent Black people, you represent women, feminists, doesn't matter. To be secure in your platform, you don't have to do this outcry of do you know who I am type of soapbox standing. You should know who you are and just put your best foot forward. The right people will take advantage of it and consume it for either what you intended to be consumed for, or they're going to consume it better than you probably imagined. But don't think that you are better, more legendary, more iconic than the next person who you feel like, oh, they didn't do as much as I did, or what I did was better, or I reached out to more people, I have a higher social media following. That doesn't matter, because we know people doctored those numbers. People doctor social media, Instagram followers, Twitter followers, all that stuff. And also, too, I want to address one other criticism before I keep on with this episode and get to the main topic here. Is people had, or this one and a couple other people had problems with 3 of the people, I think it was just 3, of the 100 honorees being people who have platforms in the adult entertainment industry. I have to tell you this. In the Black LGBTQ communities, the bravest people in our community, since I have been out in the community, and that was in '96, consistently, the bravest people have been drag queens, activists, HIV workers, party promoters, and adult entertainers / porn stars. Those were the people we've always popularized throughout our community, especially during the 90s and throughout most of the 2000s, because the rest of us were so closeted and just glad to be comfortable in our sexuality without having to be out and say, yeah, we're gay, or gay, queer, lesbian, bisexual, wearing the flag or wearing the badge, on our faces or heads or backs or whatever. We were comfortable just blending in everywhere, while these people that I mentioned, all of those 5 or 6 groups that I mentioned, they were the ones who had to be out without even being able to come back in where we could. So they deserve their props too. However, the Black LGBTQ Power 100 does not honor those 3 guys, and I'll mention who they are because their names are out there: Mustang and Johnnell and Tyrone. Tyrone and Johnnell, they are a couple, very well known from Atlanta, very well known through social media. And they're, yes, always half naked or nearly naked in their photos. They have an OnlyFans account where they do, get naked, have sex with one another. I'm aware of all that. That is not why they are on the Black LGBTQ Power 100 list. And I didn't want to keep repeating this to everybody, so I'm putting it out there. People like them, and they're not the only ones who do what they do, but they stand out. And they stand out because when it comes to lifestyle and selling products, people go to them to sell underwear, to sell swimwear, to sell lifestyle products that mostly gay men buy into. And that's what they do. When they talk, they are open about talking about their relationship. Okay, so they show more skin than everybody else who talks about their relationships. But they're the ones who are brave and bold to say, hey, I'm going to be the rep and rep your underwear brand, rep your swimwear line, rep your gay men's products. I'll do that. Then Mustang. Okay, yes, Mustang. Y'all see him as an exotic dancer at the Black Pride events, Black gay nightclubs. He has done porn. Yes, I'm very aware of those things as well. He too is not on that list because of those activities. He's on that list too because people seek him out to wear and be a brand ambassador for underwear and swimwear. He is a fitness enthusiast. If you follow him on his Instagram, he's not that muscular just because he's eating Cheetos and sucking the air out I think he lives in Texas. I don't know where he lives, or Georgia. He's not, just twiddling his thumb. So he is a fitness expert. And part of one of his many jobs is he is a personal trainer. People follow him for that. He is an actor. He's in all these web series that many of you are watching by the thousands, including the people who had a problem with it. And it was funny because the one person, I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who I'm talking about if he's listening to this. It was ironic that he was my biggest critic when he's put out web series here in New York featuring porn stars. He has a talk show. I don't know if it's still running, but he had a talk show where he featured New York porn stars on it. So I find it ironic as well as puzzling how we in the Black LGBTQ community, especially the men, we have this crabs in the barrel mentality as far as who should get their roses handed to them, who do we pat on the back and say good job or keep up the great work. And the criticism that we give them, we do it ourselves. We need to check ourselves about that, people. We do. So, off of that, 2018 for me personally, speaking of honors, was such a phenomenal year just because I've been honored for the first time by guys who look like me, and I'm talking about this whole crabs in the barrel mentality, but yeah, black, gay, bi, queer men. Yes, I got honored by the LGBT Arts and Culture Music Festival in Dominican Republic. Who else can say they've been honored with an award in the Dominican Republic or outside of the United States if you're American, where you got paid to travel there and receive your award alongside Shangela from RuPaul's Drag Race and fitness entrepreneurial icon Sean T and sports and political advocate Akil Patterson and acting legend Shirley Ralph and R&B singing icon Tweet and theatrical producers Anthony Wayne and Kendrell Bowman, and apologize for anybody else I've forgotten. Tamar Braxton should have been there, but whatever. But yes, who can say that? And also they will be in Cancun, Mexico in 2019, Memorial Day weekend. 3 of the honorees have already been announced so far. That's Frenchie Davis, I love her. Ty Hunter, I love him. And legendary choreographer Frank Gatson, who I cannot wait to meet. He has choreographed iconic music videos for the best of the best in R&B, including Beyonce, En Vogue, Brandy, and the list goes on and on. Make sure you check out lgbtmusicfest.com to hurry up and book your rooms because they are 60% sold. Yes, in January, already 60+% sold, and it's going to be sold out well before the trip. Okay. And then also too, I've been honored by Project Briggs, Bold Brave 30 annual event, their second annual one. I just, first of all, they're an organization that I've supported since its inception in 2016. So I just have all the gratitude in the world for them because I love what they do for their community in DC. I say for me, even more important than that, I was honored alongside the legendary Racine Pendarvis and Shaquita Lee and Don Brian Gatewood and Xavier O'Neal, one of the big party promoters in DC, McGregory Williams. It was so many honorees that evening. It was just a wonderful event. And then Paris Black Pride had an honor for me. I want to shout out to them. My True Colors Film Festival had an honor for me. And O'Brien Dennis Institute here in New York City. All of them, I just want to say thank you for noticing what I intend to do with this platform as the G listed. And now with more content, including this podcast, I'm looking for some more honors. Okay, 2019. Let's go global, honey, because I've already got 2 countries down and many more to go. But then let's look forward into 2019. What do we got for 2019? More excellence, but here from the G Listed, more and more content. I already mentioned that among interviews, Johnnell and Tyrone, the superpower couple from Atlanta, will be featured in a podcast episode coming soon. I got others lined up, so you'll know who they are once they have been recorded. I'm going to do more video content. I'm going to inflict some of my own personal stories that you all like reading on the G Listed. That's coming up. Some of our pop culture favorite things in our community. All of that's going to be featured in the G Listed. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's just gonna be lit. And also events. I already mentioned that the G Listed, me, yours truly, will be at the LGBT Arts and Culture Music Festival during Memorial Weekend in Cancun, Mexico. Hang out with me, Frenchie Davis, Monifa, Therese, Patrick Riley, Anthony and Kendrell, all kinds of wonderful people. And that's at lgbtmusicfest.com. And then hopefully I'll be doing something with Project Briggs. We've been talking about that for a while. So 2019, what up, Project Briggs? And then also G Listed. I have an event coming up in January. Stay tuned for that. Actually, it's an invite only just for people who have been really supportive of the G Listed here in New York. But then I'm going to do more public ones throughout 2019. Last but not least, because, branding and just getting our voices known and our platforms out to the world to get to as many people as possible, it is important that we know how to do that, how to brand ourselves, how to be seen by online media stuff. I'm doing tutorials on the G Listed. Yes, I am, or yes, I will. And some of those are going to be free. I don't know if all of it's going to be free, but at least some of it will be free, because in 2019, I really want to empower everyone to make this their best year ever. And we're going to work as hard as possible to make it happen. Okay? Now, before I get into this episode's hot topic, or the title of it, let me play one more song by Damien Crawford's hot album, Therapy. Now, this title here, if you already got the album, you're going to know what I'm talking about. It's track number 3. It is an R&B bop. Definitely an R&B bop. However, when I looked at the title, I said, what in the Mariah Carey hell? Only Mariah Carey is like the mainstream artist who has lyrics that's full of collegiate words that you wouldn't even think would belong into an R&B song, but she makes it sound so delectable. She does it in an album titles sometimes. Well, yeah, Emancipation, but she even does it in some of the songs as well. Well, guess what, you guys? He did it here with a song title I don't think I've ever heard in any genre, called Infrastructure. Damien, really? Infrastructure is a title? All right, boom. But anyways, it is a bop, and you'll get it once you'll get the title once you hear the song. So I'm playing it for you right now. It's Infrastructure by Damien Crawford.
Energy burning like a fire. Feel the heat from 1,000 miles. Temperature at about 1,000. Mystical like a Khaleesi dragon. Like the grooves running through a tire. We closing in, going through the wire. Pick me up, baby, like a falcon. Quench my thirst like a water fountain. Take me to places that I've been missing. Help me break free from living like I'm in prison. And everything that I need, that I need, that I need, that I need, that I need. Give me your I need your infrastructure. The only way my heart works when we can't be together. I need your infrastructure. Give me your infrastructure. When the world breaks me down, then you can build me up. I just wanna climb to a mountaintop that's just above the sky. And I don't want to die. Fire clock that's steady running out of time. So to places that I'm innocent, help me break free from living like I'm in prison. And everything that I need.
Hey y'all, what did y'all think of that joint? Wasn't it a bop? I told you. So yeah, make sure you pick up his brand new album. It just came out on January 1st, you guys. So yes, it's hot. It's a bop. It's called Infrastructure. I'm going to play one more song towards the end. Oh, and also I could tell you too, he's one of the people that I have planned for an interview on an upcoming episode of the G Listed podcast. So stay tuned for that. He is one of my favorite R&B singers who's out, gay, doing his thing, making quality music. So, we already talked about what happened in 2018, but this is really part of what I'm talking about for this topic of the podcast. So, over Christmas week, I flew out to Chicago from New York to spend time with my dad and my step family because I really wanted to for the holidays, but it just happened to be a timely situation for an unfortunate circumstance for my dad because he had to get knee surgery. Not just any knee surgery. This was his second knee surgery on the same knee within 2 weeks. On December 6th, he had to get his left knee done, went home to recover, and after a few days, it was just becoming, I think it was like bleeding too much or something going on as far as fluids around his knee, where he had to be readmitted to the hospital to get the surgery redone. Ugh. To not be able to walk is already painful enough, but to know that it's because your surgery that is supposed to be fixing your problem where you're going to be healed in a few weeks is going to even put you off for another few weeks has to be really, really a doozy. And with my dad, I mean, he's a guy's guy, masculine guy, likes to go and just do everything for himself, and he's a man. Can't tell him what to do when it's even good for his health and for his needs and all of that stuff. So to have something that will really take him down, even worse than a cold or a flu, which I never seen my dad with a cold or flu. I'm sure he had it, I just never seen it. But to see my dad down where he has to be like laying in a bed for a couple of whole days, and then the most he could do is just sit up and elevate the leg that's been surgically done or redone. It was kind of, I wouldn't say hurt me a little bit, but it, got to me a little bit emotionally where I was just like, oh man, just to see my dad being helpless, but I was glad to be able to help him and to run errands for him, buy groceries, cook for him. First time ever cooked for my dad, and he's still alive. Shout out to my culinary skills, because I really don't like to cook, but I cook for my man, and I will cook for my dad and my stepmom. As far as other people, maybe not. Shout out to my man, by the way. Hey. Oh, you know what? That's a great reason why, too, I ended 2018 and began 2019 with my man. Yeah, shout out to him. Anyways, so, being with my dad, it was just great. And actually, my man has everything to do with this episode. Well, incidentally. So, one thing that makes my relationship with my dad great is we have this father-son connection where we throw shade at one another all the time. So if you want to know where I get my really good shade from, it's my dad. He's going to argue that down, saying, no, I'm worse than him, and I just like that because I always had a smart-ass mouth since I was a kid. No, well, I mean, I couldn't be a smartass to him or throw shade at him then, but as an adult, we will, this is our judge. We joan one another. Black people, y'all know what joning means, right? White people, that means we throw jokes at one another, but kind of like in a shady way, like, somebody said I looked really good today. Too bad it skips a generation. Shout out to granddad. So I'll say that to my dad, and my dad will talk about, he's so smart, and too bad I didn't inherit that from him. All of that, we do that, and it's fun, it's love. We just keep each other's spirits high. We laugh at it and all that stuff. So that's what we do. Now, it gets a little touchy sometimes when my dad and I talk about my sexuality. Yes, me as a gay man. But and I know where he stands. My dad's supposed to be this religious person. Well, he's religious by mouth. No shade, but shade. He's religious by mouth, and he's just like any other parent who has said to their child, I love you, but I don't agree with the sexuality because it's not of God, da, 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 da. And then here I am being, in his eyes, Mr. Blasphemy. Well, I don't subscribe to religion anyways. I do me. I'm living in my authentic life. Unlike Christians, unlike, black Christians on top of that. And I'm doing me, and I'm very happy, and that's what you should be more concerned about, especially, than my quote-unquote walk with the Lord. Especially if you're not necessarily walking with the Lord. But that's not neither here or there. Well, I mean, it is, because that's what this episode is about. But, when it comes to our families, and I'm speaking to you LGBTQ people, when it comes to our families or people who we say are our loved ones, are very close to us, and they are the type of people who allows religion to have them to say, oh, well, I'm not really, supporting the LGBT lifestyle, but I love you. We have this dilemma about just living in our full authenticity in front of them. Because I'm not one to, even around my closest friends, I'm not one to shove down my love life or throw it at their face. Half of them don't even know I got a man. Or at least they don't even know who his name is or have even met him. Shout out to my man. But regardless, it's just, in an ideal world, we would just, be with who we love freely. Don't think about judgment. Don't think about the ostracization that could happen or people talking about their religious beliefs upon you and say, well, I love you, but I don't love your sin. Well, I don't see it as a sin, So with my dad, I was just like, okay, I'm back at home in a different situation than I was in June. Because my man and I, we really decided to become partners a couple of months ago. So, we've been seeing each other off and on since 2017. And since we've been on, we decided after, a few weeks that we were going to be partners. We are very compatible with one another. We both are in great mental, emotional, physical spaces in our lives, and why don't we marry the two, since we really do have a love for one another? And I tell you, it is a beautiful thing. So, I've told a few of my friends, at least a couple of them that I could think of right off bat, and I'm like, but dang, now it's Christmas time, I'm here at home, and I'm not back home in New York with my man, even though I flew back on Christmas night purposely to be with him. No tea, no shade. That's not what I told my parents. So, I'm sorry for lying, Dad and Pat. Not sorry, but y'all know. But anyway, so, I just wanted to talk with my dad and see where his head at as far as what I'm going to do when it's time to take that next step for my partner and I, should we decide this is what we're going to do. So, I already casually talked about it with my stepmother as far as, oh yeah, my partner and I, we're going to be moving in together in 2019. Boo, 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 boo. And so she was like, oh my God, Waddie. She didn't say that's great because she's more religious than my father. But I would say she definitely walks it a lot more than my father. Let's just say she puts in the effort to walk in the Lord. So, but she's not so judgmental, at least not to my face, about my walk in life. And she's just like, maybe you shouldn't bring it to your dad during this time because you all are bonding, because you're helping him out, you're taking care of him, and you're doing such a great job. And I'm like, look, I'm Waddie Cornell Grant Jr. Whenever I want to bring up something, one thing I learned is not to walk away with shoulda, coulda, wouldas anymore. That's why I had such a terrible 2016 and 17. Kept doing this self-doubt, kept not doing what my mind kept telling me to do. Then I started living with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and that stressed me out. So I just said, you know what? When it comes to that time, I'm going to talk about it with my dad. So this was the day before Christmas, second to the last day of me visiting my dad in Chicago. And he's like, hey, let's just rap. What's going on with you? So I talked to him about, I'm just glad 2018 was a wonderful year, has been a wonderful year. It saw me from getting away from depression at the very beginning to now just living in my best life. And then he said, I could tell there's more you want to talk about. Let's get to it. Get to the nitty gritty. So I was lollygagging around it like I normally do with my dad. Because I fear talking to my dad sometimes. Here's why I fear talking to my dad. I fear talking to my dad not because I don't want to say the wrong thing that might piss him off, which is partially true. But more so, I don't want to have a conversation where he will piss me off when we get into a moment of where we disagree. Now, I could disagree with anybody and have no emotions. For some reason, when my dad and I disagree, I could get to that point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm over it. Over you. Well, because his judgment towards me, whenever, if ever, does hold value to me. There's only a few people on this world, and that's him, my partner, and I can't think of anybody else who I just always want to impress. And people say, well, impress yourself first. Yes, I always want to impress myself first. No duh. But with these two, I just want to make sure that I live life right according to their eyes. So I just didn't want to have that conversation with my dad. So I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to tell it to him. He keeps pulling it out of me. He knows I'm BSing by trying to skirt around it. So I said, Dad, I'm in a very happy relationship right now. We're going to move in together in the next year. And I know you're going to want to visit, so I don't know if you'll be staying with us or you want to get a hotel. So he already talked about, well, I can get a hotel, and I'm joking. I'm like, you got to pay $400, boom, boom, boom. But I said, most importantly, what if we decide to get married? Should I invite you? Would you come? Because I don't want to go on with the plans and, you get upset because I didn't bother to invite you. So without answering it directly, he did let it be known, at least at that time, that, thank you for thinking about inviting me, but because of my religious beliefs, that's not something I could support. Now, I know many of y'all would have that moment with your parents where you want to shove it down your throat. You got to accept me or else. I'm not there with my dad. I ended the conversation where I said, Dad, I understand. Don't worry about it. I'm not holding this against you, because he kept wondering if I will. I said, look, because what I am doing is respecting you as a man, respecting you as a black man, and respecting you as my father. We're not going to agree on everything. I know at the bottom of it, you love me. That's all is to know. And for me to love you, I need to be honest with you about my goings on. I don't want anything to be a surprise to you. So if you don't want to be a part of it, Dad, you're going to be a part of my life anyways. Whether you come and visit me or I'm going to come visit you, whether we talk on the phone, whether we talk shit with one another like we do, none of that will change. And my point to all of you is, if you really love the people in your life, and you feel like they got to accept you for who you are, all of it, they can. It's just they don't have to be a part of every part of your world, especially if it's something that just makes them feel uncomfortable. That's their insecurity. That's their issue, not yours. What we got to do in this community, especially the quote-unquote queer people, is we got to stop all of this canceling people just because we have one thing we disagree on. They may have the best intentions for you, but to ostracize yourself from them because of one thing you disagree on is really more of your loss than theirs. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast, my first episode of the G-Listed podcast. Make sure you go to my blog at theglisted.com, subscribe, share the post on there, and also follow all of my social media platforms, which is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I am Waddie G. Thank you for watching, and share this episode. Subscribe to this episode or this channel. All right? Love you. Have a great, successful 2019. All right? Bye.